My name is Basil Ayoub, and I'm one of the owners of 512 2nd Street. My parents bought this building in the 1960s. My father ran a factory in this building upstairs. It was a clothing factory where we manufactured dress uniforms for the U.S. military. So this building has 4 different floors. Each floor is its own suite. I first heard about meter as one tenant was actually moving out of the building. Ended up with 2 other vacancies in the building. We said, hey, why don't we install meter in those 2 empty suites, and then that way, as soon as they get filled, those tenants can hit the ground running, and that's exactly what happened. So it worked out really well. Once a tenant is engaged, one of the first questions they ask is, how do we get online? And then now that meter is now fully installed in every suite of this building, the first thing we tell them is meter is available. They can get you set up with your ISP. They can get you set up with any hardware in addition to what's already installed, and contact them if you're interested. Some of the main benefits that meter's services have benefited us is simply that I've been hands off, and they've been sort of overseeing it and working directly with the tenants. It's just been great. There's like no risk at all to us, and the tenants, meter's clients, love the service. So it's sort of like a win-win-win.
I'm Athol. I'm the co-founder and CTO here at Hyperbound. With Hyperbound, we're an AI role-play tool. The salesperson gets to role-play with an AI representation of their customer instead of using their manager's time. We were looking at an office space, and our good friends at Hockey Stack had let us know that, hey, they were moving out of the space into a much bigger one. After we moved in, we realized that meter was already installed. We reached out to the meter folks, we reached out to the Hockey Stack folks. They had such a positive experience, and they're like, you can get up and running in a day. And we're like, okay, great, no headache of going to the ISP, like figuring this all out, setting up billing. I spoke to someone on the sales team, and there was a DocuSign in my hand with billing for the ISP already taken care of, bundled into it. And I was like, okay, great. It's one less bill to pay. It's directly managed in one spot. And I have one point of contact as opposed to 2 for what in my mind I regard as the same service.
So meter is very easy for tenants to integrate and get online. But I think one of the best things about meter is how quickly they can deploy their services in a space, especially if the space is already pre-installed. We've had tenants move into spaces that were pre-installed, and they were online within days.
The day that we got in, there was no downtime, right? Like there was no point where any of us were on our hotspots working for half the day while we got the internet up. At a high level, coverage is great. I mean, there's no corner in this office that doesn't get nearly the full bandwidth. The nice part about using meter, having the service available to us, is I just don't have to think about it at all. If I have to think about our internet, that's one more thing for me to worry about that is now just off my plate. I'd recommend meter to any future tenant of this space, to anyone who's looking to set up in a new office space.
I would absolutely recommend meter to other landlords and building owners. I think it's a perfect solution.